Peggy 12.
As with the start of most new consoles, one of the most prolific and experimental developers and publishers out there is Ubisoft, and they don't disappoint when it comes to the Xbox One. So here's Child of Light. It's coming from the studio behind Far Cry 3, of all teams, and they're putting the guns aside, and they're taking us into a fantasy realm.
It's a really sort of odd kind of thing that's going on, but also very, very cool. Ubisoft has essentially kind of given free rein to some of its more creative and more ambitious studios to go and make smaller games with different ideas. And in this instance, they've kind of combined bits of, sort of Final Fantasy with a Studio Ghibli kind of style to make this really interesting side-scrolling RPG.
Yeah, it's basically seeing that Ubi art framework come back into play. It's the technology behind Rayman, the Rayman Legends games, and also the Valiant Hearts games, which is due for release later this year as well. And it's basically something just completely left field from these guys. You know, it's of all the things we would expect to see from the guys behind Far Cry 3 is, you know, a classic turn-based RPG, and you know, as essentially a model that Final Fantasy abandoned, you know, almost like a decade ago now.
Yeah, and I've got to say, we really love the art style to this as well. As much as it sort of does seem to be kind of touching upon certain anime styles, it still has a kind of a different sort of feel to it. It still feels fairly original in its look. Also, kind of little elements of Limbo in here, I feel like, in terms of some of the platforming. So, yeah, really bringing together lots of cool little features, lots of good kind of indie heritage, even though it's coming through a really big publisher. But other big news we've had from Child of Light is it's been confirmed for an April 30th release on Xbox One and Xbox 360, which is fantastic news.